Coach, you can start if you want to say something about Bryce.
Yeah, it was a good day back. It was good to get back on the grass. You had a couple days off, got the guys a little bit rested, and that was definitely a good thing to kind of regroup and really I talked to them about recommitting to the grind and recommitting to their position and doing the details. And so first day back, wasn't perfect, but did some good things. I think some guys just got to learn how to mentally be ready for every single day. That's a hard thing to do, but for the most part, they did some good things and had a couple more installation items. So they're grasping it very, very well at this point.
I suppose y'all have settled on the top five, best five linemen starting.
Well, we're never always settled, until the very, very last, week maybe, but yeah, we feel pretty good about some of our guys that have been repping with those ones, and also some of those guys with the twos as well. So, feel really good about mentally where they are. Like I told you guys before, it's so important to those offensive linemen know a couple positions. Like Walker Parks is going to know tackle and guard. He's got to know both sides. All right. Marcus has got to know both guard and tackle. We just got to be prepared for anything and everything. And then I feel great where Blake is, learning that tackle position and Walker, bumping inside for some of the guard stuff. And so we're still rotating those guys and continuing to evaluate. But man, I feel really, really good about where those guys are.
Would Blake run out there first if y'all had to play?
If we had to play right now, yeah.
What's he
that
guy to sort of solidify?
He's got a really good big picture for a freshman. It's very, very much like a Mitch Hyatt type deal where, came in and just really understands the game, which is hard to do at offensive line when there's so many moving parts. It's hard to do that at a young age. A lot of times it takes a little bit longer for those guys. And then he brings a toughness every single day. There is no question, there's no question at all that he is one of the toughest guys we got. He's really strong too. So, all those things combined to, doing some good stuff.
Adam Randall, how close is he to being back and clear?
Man, I'll tell you what, Adam was running some routes today. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it was pretty fun to watch. He was doing some stuff, not getting touched yet, but he was still running a lot of good routes and just getting back into the swing of things and trying to get back into that football shape that you need to be in as far as a receiver. And he did some good things. So it's really, really neat to see him out there at such an early time with his recovery.
What does he bring when he is back and fully clear?
Well, as we saw in the spring, he brings a lot. He brings a lot of big play potential. He made plays, in the run game and in the pass game. But, man, he made the one-on-one plays a lot against some of our best guys on defense. And so it was very, very exciting and gave the offense confidence whenever he was out there. So that big play mentality is the biggest thing.
Still no timetable exact. I know. Still no timetable exactly for him yet?
There isn't. It's not going to be. It's just kind of week by week, We'll get him sometime here soon, I think, and sometime here in the next, month or two for sure. It's not going to be like at the end of the season. So we're really excited about that. He's such a great kid. He just works his butt off.
Coach, what have you seen from Cade from spring to now?
Yeah. Well, I see a lot more confidence because of the summer. Him going in there and watching more film, watching the clips from the spring, watching the good things and then the mistakes that he made in the spring and corrected those. So just absorbing it a lot more allows him to be more confident and knowing where to go with the ball even faster. So I feel really good with where he is. Plenty to work on, but man, I'm telling you, he's a guy that just is continuing to get better, and that's all you can hope for as a coach.
How confident do you think the team is around him that he will be ready to go in as a number 2 guy?
Yeah, no, very confident, very confident. He brings energy, he brings leadership. All the guys respect him because of his work ethic and who he is as a person and his character. And so there's a ton of confidence with Cade whenever he goes in there too.
In a perfect world, how would you want to fit him in early in the season?
Yeah, Cade's going to play. There's no doubt about it. He's going to play. How much is hard to tell. We're still a couple weeks away, and that's always based on what we're doing on offense and how we're moving the ball and all those things take a big part of it too. So I got a lot of confidence with him and with the first group, second group. It doesn't matter. I feel really good about where he's at.
Are there certain situations with him where he maybe does things different than the DJ that maybe you would use him in a certain situation where
At this point, right now, it's just they're playing quarterback, you know, and we roll in plays based on their, you know, what their skill set is.
Right.
You know, he's can move out of the pocket a little bit better than DJ. He can, you know, run the ball on the edge a little bit better than DJ. DJ's probably a little better than him getting downhill. You know, so just different types of runs there, just to make sure that we facilitate and do things that you know, measure up to what their skill set is.
DJ's talked about working, you know, improving his footwork and getting a firmer base, a stronger base to throw from it. Is he where you want him to be mechanically just going into the season?
Yeah, you know, I think every quarterback that's always something to improve on.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that. Like, there's always something mechanically you got to be working on, and so he's every single day he's working on something, and it starts with his footwork. You know, his base is so critical to have a good base and making sure that we're throwing on platform, because that allows him to be more accurate, and it's just proven. And so he's working on that every single day, and you know, I'm impressed with how he's improved in that area.
Was that something you pinpointed specifically, just watching him last year?
Yes.
Where he needs to improve?
Yep, exactly. The details of the fundamentals of the footwork is really where it stems from. And a lot of quarterbacks will say that, you know, hey, if it's not an accurate throw, a lot of times we don't have a great base. Our footwork is off. It's kind of like I teach the guys, kind of like a golf swing, you know, like that backswing is almost as important as the forward swing, you know, because it gets you going in the right direction. So just their footwork getting back to their spot in the pocket is just as important as making the throw. And so those are all little detail things that we've been working on.
The off-platform throws you mentioned are kind of trendy, like Mahomes and others,
Yeah.
and even DJ. You know, a couple of years ago, he had some of those against
Yeah.
Notre Dame, the sidearm stuff.
Yeah.
As a quarterback's coach, how do you sort of balance
Yeah,
the natural sort of reactions as a quarterback with the fundamental?
Well, it's a great question, and there is definitely a time and place for the off-platform throws. All right, what I don't agree with is when they're trying to throw off platform when there's nobody in their face. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, and it's proven data. I mean, if you're balanced and you're standing tall and you're making the right footwork, then you're going to be more accurate. We did a whole study on DJ and guys in the past. When we're stationary and we're able to make the throws with balance, we're just way more accurate, you know? And the beauty of it is that as long as they can understand when to use the off platform, you know, there's times when you're getting out of the pocket and you got to find a way to get it to the flat, or, you know, different situations on scrambling and things like that. He can make all those throws as good or better than anybody that I've seen. The key is to get him to do those things when he has to, not just whenever, you know, he's wide open in the pocket, you know. So that's kind of my big thing. And what I want to do is when I drill these guys is I want to drill 75 to 80% of the time of having a good platform and moving in the pocket, but having a good platform when you're ready to throw. All right, and then the smaller percentage of, okay, let's work on some off-platform things, because it's going to happen in games.
Is there a completion percentage or ballpark completion percentage that he's been at consistently throughout camp? Or?
You know, it's kind of been up and down a little bit, you know, just kind of based on what we're doing, what we're installing that day. You know, we always want to be above 60%, you know, that's just kind of an overall goal. But, you know, some teams give us, you know, might have a higher percentage, you know, it just depends on what they're doing on defense, really. But yeah, we want to be above 60% for sure.
Great opportunity.
With the top three backs, can you kind of break down what each of them does a little differently and what each of them kind of brings differently?
Yeah, Shipley, I mean, you start with Will, and he is just a tough, hard-nosed leader, you know, very physical, you know, just hard to tackle running back, and he can do it all. He's got great hands. He's got great protection responsibilities, understands the big picture. All right, that's what's very impressive about a young guy. He's only been here for a year and a half, and he understands the big picture very, very well. So that is something that he does very, very well. Kobe's got some really good experience. He's awesome with his vision and making north-south cuts when he needs to, and not losing ground and not going east and west. And man, very dependable guy. Very, very well very, very good running back. And then you got Phil Maffa, obviously, who took all the reps in the spring, got so much better with understanding the big picture. But Phil, you know, heck, he's been anywhere from 220 to 230, and he can do it all. He really can. I trust him in every situation. So, you know, there's probably more similarities of the three than differences, but those would be some of the aspects that I would say of those three guys.
Coach, when it gets this close to kickoff, like 2 weeks before the Atlanta game, what are you looking to see from your offense in these last couple preparations?
Yeah, well, the details. So cleaning up the details. That's where you got to polish. So now we start, you know, getting closer and closer to, like you said, the first game, and we need to be able to polish and clean up the little details at every single position. You know, guys should be knowing where to go and making sure we're not making missed assignments, but then the details of the footwork, like I was just talking about with the quarterbacks, and knowing where to go with the ball, and just being crisper and crisper as we get closer and closer.
Do you think Ngata is going to be able to give you guys the 9-man presence that y'all are? Has sort of defined that position over the years?
Absolutely. I feel I've got a ton of confidence in Ngata. I mean, he's done a great job this camp. You know, he's works his tail off. He only knows one speed, and it's 100%. And that's what I love about the kid. And you know, he's overcome some stuff last year mentally with injuries and things like that, and he's in a great spot. But I feel really good about where he is.
Saw Bo in street clothes still. Do you still expect him to be back at some point this week?
Oh, yeah. He'll be back soon, within the next week or so. Yeah, we're going to have him back. There's no doubt about it. But he's recovering really well.
Got time for about 2-3 more for Coach. Anybody? All right, thanks, guys.